Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Good. Great morning. Great morning.
Good. Glad to see y'all up and at 'em on this beautiful Saturday. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Y'all ready to do that?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it, sir.
Okay. Welcome to Coach Deborah Smith's Conversation with the Guys, building your best life. And of course, we're here again with some real good stuff for, all the single parents out there. And not only single parents, but parents of young men that's trying to raise their young men, up and right in the best way so they can be the best that they can be. So we're here today, and we're going to be talking about a young man and his money. A young man and his money. So we got three distinguished young men here this morning, and I'm gonna let y'all, go around and say a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump right into it. And first, we're gonna start with the newest young man of the bunch. Not saying, but he's a vet now. He's been on here for a while. He's been on the show. He's done a whole lot. So, although he's new, he's still a veteran. Go ahead and talk to the people out there this morning.
Hi everyone, the Build Your Best Life family. My name is Derek Dirt. I'm a young man who has overcame a lot of obstacles in life, and I just try to share my story and my passion and link those two together and change the lives of other young men who couldn't come up and potentially make some of the same mistakes I made. I go by the title of a transformational guide because what I do is I walk through those steps of building a better life with those individuals hand in hand with them. Not just someone who stands over and tells them what to do, but I also go through the process with them, and just by just connecting with them and just because the transformation can be very hard when you're doing it by yourself. When you got somebody with you that's gonna stand in your corner and be there with you, it's definitely the potential to be successful is a whole lot better. So that's basically what I do, and continue to be a part of this Build Your Best Life team. It's just something that continues to help me get better at what I strive to do.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good stuff there. Dr. Levette, how you doing this morning?
Hey, great morning. Great morning. Bring y'all greetings from Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm at today. So, hey, as always, I love this every month. I was scrambling really hard trying to get things together this morning, but hey, here we are. But I'm Joseph Levette. I'm a 32-year retired Army vet. I also currently I work as a chaplain at Memorial Hospital. I'm married to the lovely Tony Levette, and together we have 4 kids. We have 3 girls and 1 boy who I love dearly, and then we have 10 grandchildren. So that's why this type of platform is very vital. I have 5 grandsons, so this kind of even helps me and keeps me fresh on even helping even my son-in-laws and my son, helping them and how to help their sons manage life as well as my granddaughters. So this has been a great platform, and I'm just so honored always to be part of it. And I thank Dr. Deborah Smith for bringing me into this fold. So I'm looking forward to our conversation today, talking about that money.
Okay. All right. Last but definitely not least, Deacon Dan Smith. What's going on with you, sir?
Well, good morning. Everything is well. Everything is great. Dan Smith, retired 40-year law enforcement, married to the lovely and gorgeous Coach Deborah D. Smith. That's right. This platform is great, and this topic today is something that is definitely essentially needed. Because when we was coming up, it wasn't there really available. But I'm glad to be here this morning, and I'm not going to delay or whatever, but let's get it.
All right, let's get it. Okay, I'm Coach Dr. Kevin Wilbon, and I'm gonna go through this real fast. I'm an athletic coach. I'm also an author of 4 books. I'm a military veteran of 24 years, and I'm an educator. And I thank Coach Deborah D. Smith for this honor of being on this platform because it means a lot to me. I have 3 sons, and they're all 10 years apart. 37, 27, got one to be 17 this month. So, and they all in different, facets of their life. So, this is important to me because being on this platform, I'm learning a whole lot as I go along as well. You're never too old to learn. I will always say that no matter who you are, what you're doing, you're never too old to learn. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. And today we're going to be talking about a man and his money. Okay, not a man, a young man and his money. Okay, Okay, so most people get their money habits and skills from their parents and caregivers. However, this does not necessarily mean that they don't mirror the habits and skills that they see. Do they aspire to be great money managers based on their experiences? Do they want money, lots of money, and fast money? So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Dr. Levesque. Okay.
Yes,
What
sir.
percentage of young men have the basic financial knowledge they need to make sound financial decisions? What percentage of young men have the basic financial knowledge they need to make sound financial decisions?
Well, I would say in today's time, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would say maybe roughly 25%. And that's
Okay.
that's given a little bit, only because one of the things that I've noticed is they've taken a lot of even financial literacy classes out of schools. When I was coming in school, I had a class. It was called economics something, where in that class I learned how to do a checkbook. I learned how to, I had learned how to add and really add up your money, how to balance a checking account, how to balance a savings. What's the purpose of having a checking and a savings account? Um, Kids today, most of the kids actually don't even have accounts. They get their money, and we're gonna talk a little more about that later. But they get their money and they ready to spend it. That's the way they see money. So I think the percentage is low because there's no educational opportunities to me like that were back then. And boys and young men typically nowadays they'll think that that's a soft class for them to be in. Like, oh, I ain't going to nothing about no money. Dad, I know how to spend my money. I know how to do, so yeah, I would say I would give it about that 25%.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Deacon Dan Smith, go ahead and elaborate a little bit on that if you can.
Well, I did a little reading, and that statistics they're saying is about 27%.
Okay.
Yeah, you were close. You were real close. But if I don't want to take it back because we're gonna discuss this. If I go back to when I was coming up, I know economics. We had economics, but it wasn't necessarily. It's just about checks and balance. It wasn't about investments or making sound financial decisions. But it's like it's only what 20. I think it's 26 states that require high schools to have a financial course. But financial knowledge. You got to make. We need to. It got to be sound. Mm-hmm. And that's something I'm glad we're talking about it. I hope somebody gets something out of this today. If they got any questions, I always say, get in contact with Sister Coach Deborah, and she can reach us if they have any questions for us.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And Mr. Durden, how you feel about this?
It's amazing because in today's time, the youth that's growing up in today's time has a whole lot more accessibility to information than we did when we were coming up. Due to social media and other platforms like YouTube, they have access to that. But at the same time, the number of 27% seems drastically low. And with that, it's because I think that financial literacy, especially coming up in like low income neighborhoods, it's not in the forefront. We talk to survive. We're not really thinking about, okay, let's make some smart financial decisions. We're just trying to make it to the next day. So the long-term vision of making financial decisions is not there. We're just looking at from what's the next meal, or being a single mother raising kids. That's the main focus, just surviving one day at a time, not the long-term objective of really making, valuable and important financial decisions for the long term.
Okay. Good. Great. Hey guys, let me ask y'all something. Are most men trying to learn about investments and earnings or ways to get fast money? You think they want to invest, or they just trying to worry about getting fast money with this generation that we got going now? What you think about that, Deacon Dan?
I'm gonna rate this on a percentage. I figure, they say 60% of men's investment. So if 60% of men's invest, concerned about investment, then the other 40% is not. But I know a lot of them are looking at that I talk with. You're looking at trying to learn more about investments and earnings instead of that getting that fast money. That fast money that I know a lot of guys want to get fast money. I always talk while I'm in law enforcement. I say, oh, fast money. Oh, you gonna sell drugs or something? That's fast money. I said, you don't want that. You need long-term money. That's what I always told them. But yeah, investment earnings, young men need to learn more about that, because the more they know about it, the better they'll be off, about what they're doing. And that way, during your whole lifetime, you will be able to make some good decisions financially. So that's what I feel about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I always feel like this, just because you're making fast money does not mean that you're going to be keeping that fast money.
Right.
You can get that fast money just as fast as you make it. You'll spend it if you're not investing it and not doing what you need to do wisely with your money. That what you're saying makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, Dirk, would you tell me about it? How you feel about that? Let me ask you a question, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you anyway? I just got that question.
I'm 39.
All right, so you're 39. You're still a young man. You're still a young man. So,
I like
you look younger than 39. You look good. So with this situation that's going on, and with your knowledge, coming up, and the people around your age that's coming up, what have you seen as far as this?
Okay, when we come think about fast money, in the old days it was always drugs or other things that is illegal. But in today's time, it's easier to make quote unquote fast money in legitimate ways, because the opportunities have grown in so many different ways. So when we think about fast money, we think about the immediate gain. So let's say, for instance, I start a YouTube channel. Even though the process might not be real quick to gain followers and get monetized, but we can look at it as fast money, because regular money back in the days, it was a very, very slow process. So every day going to work or however it may be pictured. So today's fast money is different from our old fast money. So with that in mind, the thing is, the same way that you can make fast money in today's time is the same way you can invest. Because with that same YouTube channel, it can provide you income long-term residual income. And so that's why the dynamic right now, compared to how we were growing up when it comes to fast money and long-term investments, the investments that can create fast money now are the same ones that, pretty much you can invest in long-term, especially with social media, what they call digital real estate. So that's what I feel like on that topic.
All right. That's good. Good stuff. Thanks for that comment. Thanks for that. Okay, Dr. Levette, are these young men in a hurry to make this fast money, or are they worrying about investments?
Well, Derek kind of stole my thunder a little bit in how I was going to answer that question, because fast money is different today than it was. And but I think a lot of young men get turned to the street type fast money, because there are not a lot of availability. There's not a lot of, they're not educated. They're not exposed to people who actually are investing and doing those things that make their money last longer. They don't understand that street fast money don't last, because one, you get caught up in it and you'll have the money and you'll be locked up somewhere, or you'll have the money and you'll be in the grave somewhere. So that fast money, or that type of fast money, ain't gonna get you nowhere. But that fast money, such as what Derek was talking about, if you're investing and you're trying to start, if you think about it, you go back, if any of you know the guy called Lil Wayne, Country Wayne. Country Wayne started he started business just doing YouTube, doing videos, doing TikToks and all of that. Now he's worried. Now he's a millionaire, I think. And he done that because he took something and got serious about it. He wanted to be a comedian, but there wasn't a lot of opportunities for him. So he said, okay, I'm gonna just start out right here. And now what that did was that has now opened up him opportunities. And so there's ways to make fast money legitimately, and then there's ways to make fast money illegitimate. But the one thing about it is, if you make it legitimately, it's gonna last for you, and then you'll be able to help another younger brother out. And that's the thing. And I think as older, and this is my last part with that, is that sometimes a lot of us in our ages, we didn't learn a whole lot about investments back then, because we was a little scared to throw our money in stuff. You know, I got to take care of my family. You know, I got a little bit of extra money in the bank, but investing it and then taking that risk and losing it, because it was a lot of that going on. And there's a lot of things out there. If you get caught in Bitcoin and some of those different investments, they risky. So you got to also make sure you're investing in smart investments. You got to do your research and look for the ways to make that money grow for you. So that's kind of my take on that. But I do think it's I think they want to know about investments if somebody willing to teach them.
Good point. Good point. I was just thinking that myself, you know, someone, you know, give them some kind of good guidance on what they could do with their money, then it'll last for them, for a while. All right, Deacon Dan Smith, do young men think about ways to manage money, or, to learn investments, or just get that fast money and just go out there and just splurge?
Well, it's sort of 50-50. I hear some talk about, managing their money, but then they still like those clothes, but they're not as stylish and spending money on a whole lot of clothes. It seems that, that the fashion that they're having, if they're being taught to manage their money, then they're gonna mix it up. They're gonna look for long range. If they're being taught, that's what I'm thinking. If they're being taught how to manage their money, which I know, a lot of financial companies and different ones, they try to teach these young men how to handle their money, but they still gonna like those clothes. So you got a few. I think it's less now. There's more ladies on the latest, shoes and clothing. But now technology, they're a little bit more like to buy everything that comes out, especially if they're technically savage. So they like to buy different items like that, and they're really not managing their money. So I'm half and half with that on that.
Okay. All right, Dr. Levette, you think, guys, young men think about ways to manage money, or they focus on the latest clothes, the tech and the technical stuff, the shoes and all of that? How about you? When you were coming up, what did you focus on when it came to that?
Yes. Oh, I was really trying to make my way, being somebody that was raised in the projects, and not having money like that. I mean, they being in that survival mode, having been there. I wanted to be somebody that was successful. And my dad always told us, you can be more. I want you to be more than me. I want you to be able to be more than me. Don't get out there and get caught in that lifestyle. And don't, like, when I first went in the Army, that's one of the things my mom told me when I first went in there. Don't go in there and spend all your money up just buying all these clothes and stuff. You still got to live, because you go in the military, they give you a place to sleep, they give you free food, So all you got to do with your money is what you want to do with your money. However, I had good platoon sergeants. I had a platoon sergeant by the name of Sergeant Willis. He was a Vietnam vet. And he said, here, listen, I'm going to show y'all, this is what y'all need to do. Don't go out there spending all your money, going out, hanging out, clubbing and partying, doing all that. He said, you better learn to save, and try to find you some high yield interest investments. And he was talking to us about that. And here I was, I'm 18 years old. I'm like, man, I'm trying to get out here and go to the club. I'm trying to go hang out. And to do that, I got to get the latest clothes. I got to go get me some good gear. Nowadays, with the way fashion is out there with the name brands, you know, you got all of everything out there, your Adidas and your, you know, all of the name brand stuff out there. It's they can manage it if they can manage their money and do that, it's fine. But if you're behind on your bills just so you can go get the latest outfit to go to the Beyonce concert, then you know you're gonna sell yourself short every time, and you're gonna find yourself in a struggle mode, and you may even have a pretty good job. So that's kind of my take on that.
Okay, that's how it is now. You know, everybody wants to look good and the whole 9 yards, but you know, I'm just like you, Dr. Levette. When I was in the military, you know, I had me a good drill sergeant, and I had me a good first sergeant. And my first sergeant used to always tell us about, you know, trying to, you know, save your money and manage your money correctly in the whole 9 yards. I don't know if that's something that they instill with these people that's important in the military, but I think everybody that has been in the military or through it, you know, one way or another, someone has said something to them about, you know, don't be spending all your money up in the whole 9 yards. Because I was just like you. You know, the first thing I want to do is buy me a car. I say, when I get in the military, first thing I'm going to do is get me a car.
Yep.
You know, that was the coolest thing to do. You know, coming out of high school, you know, getting a car, you know, going back to the neighborhood and flexing. You know, so, and I learned the hard way because that first car that I got broke down the first month. You know, so I was like, you know what? I should have just waited, you know, and saved my money up, invested my money, and waited until I got enough money to get a decent car. And I would have been, you know, in great shape. All right, Dirk, you know, do these young men try to manage their money, or they focus on all this new stuff that's out here? You know, the clothes, shoes, the technical stuff, you know, like the PlayStations and the iPhones and all of that. So what they doing out there, D?
I got a question for everybody on the panel. Richest person in the world right now.
Say that again.
The richest person in the world right now.
Are you asking us who is the richest person in the world?
Yes, I am.
Tell me why you're the richest person in the world, D.
No, I'm asking who's the richest person in the world so I can drive my point home.
Oh, I can't tell you, to be honest with you, because every time I turn around, they telling me, you know, this person got $1 billion, this person got $1 billion, so I really don't know who the richest person in the world. How about you, Dr. Levette? Do you know who the richest person in the world is?
I do not. I heard it not too long ago, but I didn't remember it though.
Deacon Dan, who's the richest person in the world?
That's the same. I'm trying to think as a foreign guy how much money he has, how rich he was.
Somebody just said Elon Musk. Is that true?
No.
All right, D. D got all the cards. Because if he's asking us, that means he knows. So, okay, D, who the richest person in the world?
The guy that owns Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
That answers our question. He's the richest person in the world, and he is the owner of a designer company.
Wow. I got you now.
I got you. I follow you.
With the clothes.
We know exactly where the money. We know where the focus is going.
Right.
Wherever the focus is going, that's where the money is going.
Got you.
So to answer the question,
clothes.
They are more focused on the clothes, the shoes, because that's what social media praises.
That is good. That was good.
Because if you don't have the clothes, if you don't have the shoes, if you don't have the cars, then you're not accepted.
Right.
You are not the person that people look up to. And so that's why you see so many people on social media going on trips. Oh, I went to Cancun, but can't come home and pay their bills.
He right.
Walk heavy, sir. You walking heavy.
yeah, and because I mean, and that's the truth, because a lot of people, they rather look good, have nice cars and stuff like that. But then what people don't see is that they're probably living with somebody and can't pay their rent and don't have a place to go to. And you know what? Not only that, it's been like that for a long time too. Even when we were coming up, I used to see that. I see how people was dressing real nice, always flexing, pulling out their little bit of money that they got. But then when you ask them where they live, they can't tell you. So yeah, you're right, D. You're definitely right with that. And that is a great answer too. So I'm hoping everybody that's looking at this is please paying attention to what Dirk just said, because that is very important, especially for these younger people that's coming up today. A lot of people are flexing their clothes, their cars, and stuff like that. But then, like the old saying, they don't have a pot to do anything in. Okay, all right. Hey, good stuff, D. You got me good on that because I was trying to figure out who's the richest person in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Whitman, I just want to throw something in there.
Go ahead.
In Luke 14:28, it says a man who knows how to handle money, he can pretty much handle almost everything.
Wow.
Now that's in the Bible.
That's powerful. And it's real. Because if you can handle that, you can handle anything that come your way.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Guys, how y'all feel about that?
I mean, spot on.
Okay.
Most honestly, if you look at it, and a lot of people don't know this, but most rich people live by biblical principles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah, and that was Luke 14:28. 14:28.
And that what Dick and Dan read, if a man who can manage his money can do anything.
Wow, that's powerful. So let that be a lesson. Let that be if you're looking, you're paying attention. That's a great lesson. That is a great lesson. Luke 14:28. Luke 14:28. Okay, guys, why isn't financial literacy a priority for young men? Why isn't financial literacy a priority for young men? And I'm gonna start off with you, Deacon Dan. Why isn't financial literacy a priority for young men?
Because they're not taught. They don't know. If they was known that financial literacy, it would equip you with knowledge to make informed decisions, leading to greater monetary stability. It's also empower you to take control of your finance and navigate the challenges and opportunity that arises. So I think if they're not taught, or if they're not seeking knowledge about it, that's why it's not a priority, because they have other things. Maybe I don't want to say a female. Some of them might be on females, some might be on cars, some other things. But yeah, they're not being taught. And as I said, there's only 26 states that have the requirement for teenagers to that take classes, during their school year. 26 states.
Wow. Okay. Okay, D. Why isn't financial literacy a priority for a young man? How come they don't make that a priority?
I think that first of all, it starts in the household. What I see in today's time is a lot of the children, teenagers that are growing up right now, their parents have taken those type of responsibilities away from them. Like when we were growing up, 15 years old, 16 years old, we were going to go get a job. Now parents, mindset is totally different. 15 years old, you need to focus on school, you need to focus on this. And these nowadays parents, they putting the whole burden on themselves and release responsibility of to start understanding about money. So there's no priority on that because our parents are already providing for us. So we see 18, 19-year-olds who still stay at home, who don't even have the desire, oh, well, I can just stay with mama till I get ready to move out. And, like with an eagle, the right. Mother eagle pushes the eagling out so they will begin to learn how to fly. But in today's society, the mothers are not doing that. They're really keeping them in the nest, keeping them under because they are faced with so many obstacles, and so they're trying to protect their children from certain obstacles that's out there in society. But what they're not realizing they're doing is stopping them from developing into successful and productive individuals. So keeping them up under their wing, I think it starts the parenting. Keeping them under their wing is stopping them from actually putting the priority of financial literacy at the forefront.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a problem. And COVID didn't help either, because now these kids don't even want to go out. If they can't find a job at home on a computer, they don't even want to go out, even look for a job now. You know, you talk to a kid now, hey, I'm looking for a job as long as I can stay home, you know, on my computer, I can work from home, then, you know, I'm good. You know, so that kind of spoiled them a little bit too. Okay, Dr. Levette, what's your take on that as far as financial literacy? Is it a priority for young men?
Well, I'll say this, and since Deacon Dan already went to the word on us, I'm gonna return that favor here. In the book of Hosea, in the 4th chapter, it states, I believe it's in the 6th verse, where it says that people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And so when you lack knowledge, then that's not gonna, anything that you lack in knowledge is not going to be a priority for you. The other thing to that is the further part of that scripture talks about you rejecting the knowledge. Because sometimes you even try to help kids and tell them things, and they still reject. They still reject the knowledge. They still reject it. And so for us as men, you know, we gotta, it go back to what Derek was saying. It started at home. If we teach them, because when coming up, when we gave our children allowance, they was required to tithe off their allowance, because we wanted to start teaching them the principles of the Bible. Because as I stated earlier, all the rich people got rich because they practiced the principles of the Bible.
Right.
And so we try to teach that. And, you know, and I think as they've gotten older now, they understand the importance of financial literacy, the things we taught them about handling money, you know, how to spend money. You know, it was school time, we got, okay, here's how much money you got to spend. And sometimes one of my daughters can go and get more than the other one, because the one that's younger, she's thinking, I'm going to get more if I don't try to get all the latest name brand.
Right.
Whereas the other one wants that name brand. So that's why financial literacy is so important, because we also have to teach them, you don't have to always have name brand stuff, and you can still make it in the world. But I know the peer pressure that's out there causes people to think differently, the younger crowd. But I think but I do believe that a lot of younger kids now, they don't see financial literacy as a priority right now, because they think they got time. Oh, I got time to do all that later. When they get out and they don't have no bills, how many of y'all done had kids come back and say, y'all grown children come back and say, whoa, I ain't know nothing about, I ain't know this paying bills thing was like this until I got ahead and started having to do it. I now understand, Dad, what you were talking about when you said turn that light off. I quit taking up long 30-minute showers. Now I see what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I say it's all about knowledge. If they don't have knowledge, it's not going to be a priority.
Right. And yeah, and that comment that you made is very true, because I used to always tell my kids, especially the oldest down to the youngest, wait till you get out here. You're going to really see what I'm talking about. They would get mad if you complain about them running the water, keeping the light on, while they're in the house and they're not in their rooms and the whole 9 yards. They don't understand that it's electric, it's gas, it's, the different thing, food and all that. But food, they probably understand that, because, they probably spend their money and go out and they'll see how much, food costs. But when it comes to bills and stuff like that, they really don't understand till they get out there on their own. And I seen a comment earlier was saying that rich people buy used cars or whatever. And that seemed to be true, because I know when I was, coming up, and I lived in Washington, D.C., in the Georgetown area in Washington, D.C., I used to always see, a lot of white people, and they would just dress down. And I used to always think that they didn't have any money. Then I find out later on, I'll walk past where they live or whatever. They're living in mansions, but they're driving used cars. They're wearing jeans, T-shirts, and the whole 9 yards. And I could never figure out why they were doing that. And as I got older, they were like, why should I have to go? Why should I dress like that? I don't have to. I got whatever I want. If I wanted to, I could, but I'm just not doing that. So I do understand that, because I was one of the ones that came up and loved the designer clothes, wanted the nice cars and stuff like that. But once I started having kids and stuff like that, when I started buying tennis shoes or buying, other things like that, they would be way cheaper than what these kids are buying. And my kids used to ask me, they were like, well, Dad, you ain't buying Nike no more? I'm like, look, Nike ain't gonna keep my bills paid, so I'm not worried. I'm gonna buy something that's comfortable for my foot, and I'm gonna keep it moving. And as you get older, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, that is something that starts from home, and we have to teach our kids, let them know, sometimes you be thrifty. There's nothing wrong with being thrifty, but that's something that's gonna have that's something that they're gonna have to, figure out, in the long run, themselves. So, all right, guys, what advice would you give a teen about earning and valuing money? What advice would you give a teen about earning and valuing money? And I'm gonna start off with you, Derek. What advice would you give them?
Just coming from where you just came from, where you was talking about the rich people and how they survive. One thing that I learned is rich people stay rich because they act broke, and broke people stay broke because they act rich.
That's good. That's true.
And so,
say it, Derek. Say it one more time for them.
Rich people rich because they act broke, and broke people stay broke because they act rich. And so where I'm going with that is this. When you get to a certain level of financial stability, you don't have to prove yourself anymore. So you don't have to wear the designer in order to show that you got money. But an individual who does not have that financial stability, who is trying to prove or look like they actually have it, they have to buy that designer in order to bring up, one, their self-esteem, two, their status in society. So for me, hey, money is only a tool. Use it in a way that uplifts and brings value to your life and help you the things that you're trying to achieve in life. So do not put your place your self-esteem based off the money you have. That would be my advice.
All right, that's some great advice right there. Great advice. All right, digging down, what advice do you give a teen about earning and valuing money?
Well, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna go back biblically on. I'm gonna go back to 1 Chronicles 29. And God gave us everything. We go out there and we can say, well, I'm working hard for my money, but the Bible says God gave it to you. It's a gift. So I just let them know, take your money, let's break this money up. 10% to God. You give him his 10% back. You just give him back to him what he done gave you. Put 20% in savings, and then take care of the rest of your bills. And you have you just be growing and growing. You'll be growing in knowledge. You'll be growing in money. And that's how some of these. I listened to a lot of people talk to me, some successful young men, and they was taught by different Jews or whatever, and they're very successful because of what they was taught. The Jews taught them, hey, they parent or something worked for guys that was wealthy, and these guys was Jews, so they basically tell your son to do this, this, and this. So if I tell them, okay, tell them this is what we need to do. Don't put, love and money ain't gonna hit it, because one of the things about it, God done give you everything that you got.
Right, not yours anyway.
Right. There you go.
Hey, all right. That's right. All right, Dr. Levette, what advice would you give a teen about earning and valuing money?
Listen, I've lived on several principles about life. Is one, It takes money to make money. I mean, once you earn it, you got to know how to manage it. You got to know how to be disciplined in managing it. I always used to I tell my kids all the time, don't go and spend if you spending most of your money on something that's not going to benefit you, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. Because when you go, if you going to the club every week and spending $100, you spending $400 in a month on the club. And then got to throw in getting your hair done and all of that other stuff going there, getting outfits, because they're gonna do that. They're gonna get outfits. They don't like to wear the same stuff every week. They ain't even like when I was growing up. If I wore a nice little outfit, now 5-6 weeks later, I'm gonna be wearing that same outfit again in the club. But they don't like to do that. But see, the thing is too, I've always taught my kids, don't try to live above your means. Don't try to live above your means. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. You can still wear designer clothes, even if you don't make all the most of money right now. How you do that? You learn how to bargain shop. Learn how to bargain shop. If I go to the outlet, I went to the outlet a couple months ago. I bought me a pair of Adidas. I bought the standard black Adidas because I always loved them. To me, they was the best one. So I bought those. You know what? I spent $34.99 on them. You know why? Because all of the new Adidas that's out, they're $150, $160. So I learned how to live within my means, and that's what I mean when I say live within your means. Because if you live within your means, that helps you develop some discipline on how you spend your money. And then as you start moving up in the world and getting promoted on your job or whatever, going to college and getting a degree and then expanding your life, you'll know what the value of money is, because a lot of people lose the value of money when they get money. They forget the value of it because they think, now I got it, I can spend it, and I'm still okay. I still pay my bills, but I had a whole lot of fun. I flew out to New York and I spent $2,000 this weekend just so I could go sit in the nosebleed section and watch Beyonce. So that's the advice I give them. Live within your means and be disciplined with how you spend your money.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, most definitely got to be disciplined. Okay, guys, in closing, if you could go back to your younger days, what changes would you make that would benefit young men today financially as they strive to build their best lives? If you could go back to your younger days, what changes would you make that will benefit young men today financially as they strive to build their best lives? I'm going to start off with you, Derek. I'm going to start off with you on this one.
Okay, for me, just looking at one of the main things that I would learn more about is credit. Because sometimes we talk about things like it takes money to make money. To credit, it's built off credibility instead of actually hard-earned money. And so with that, I think that the door to credit has opened a lot of doors for people who actually never really a lot amount of money to start off with. So for me, I think that one, learning credit, and two, learning how to start a big, because we can work many hours for other people in their dream, making them rich and only getting by day. But once we find our passion, once we find our value and what we can give to society, and we package it and put it inside a business and use that credit in order to fund it, we have a process for success. Not only for us financially, but for what we can give back to the world. And if it's just looking back at myself, those are the two things that I really go back and focus on, and that individuals today, young men today, can really build on and really become financially free, and also help the people that need help in the process.
All right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. You know, that's some very good and wise advice. And I hope whoever's listening, please take heed to what Derek just said. Makes a whole lot of sense, and it's very, very important in trying to make sure that your young men or young women, they are, financially, their literacy is good in managing their money. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to you now, Dr. Lebet. If you could go back to your younger days, what changes would you make to benefit young men financially as they strive to build their best lives?
I would definitely say I would be more disciplined in savings, and I would have been trying to find um, some other opportunities to have more streams of income. That's what I would have done if I was younger. Because remember something I said at the very beginning. I learned in home economics and all of that class, not home economics. It was a different type of economics class, but I learned in there about savings, and I even learned about credit. I learned about how important your credit was. And so, if I would have took that stuff and really applied it, because I was given the knowledge, but I rejected it, just like the scripture said. I rejected that knowledge when I got it, and I started getting that money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I started rejecting. I was rejecting what I was already taught. I would go back and definitely be saving and be disciplined, because every time I would dip into my savings, I didn't really need to dip in my savings. I just did it because I thought I needed more money. That's why I did it. I didn't even, when I looked at it, I really didn't even need it. And I ended up spending on stuff I didn't really even need. So I would say that's definitely, I would go back and change about me is I would definitely save better. I would have been, and then I would have been more disciplined in that savings, so that I could try to find ways to come up with multiple streams of income. Because today's world, if you don't have multiple streams of income, it's sometimes hard to make it.
Most definitely, especially in the world that we live in today. Good stuff. Thank you for that. Okay, Deacon Dan Smith, your thoughts on if you can go back to your younger days, okay, what would you do and what changes would you make that will benefit young men today financially as they strive to build their best lives? What kind of advice would you give them?
Okay, it's a couple things. I'm gonna go back on. I know my daddy told me to go on and pay his bills. I went to pay his bills and come back and said, "Daddy, you only got $20 left." He said, "All my bills paid?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, I ain't worried about nothing else." You know.
Wow.
I say, "You're not worried about nothing else?" So that was a thought that lingered with me for a long time, and it's still, I'm bringing it up now. I'm talking about, probably about 45, 50 years ago. But anyway, although your bills are paid, but you don't have, and you got $20 left, but you ain't got none in savings. You got to save your money. And also on credit cards, our young man, credit cards, the interest used to be tax deductible, but now it is not tax deductible. So although you build your credit, we used to have these credit cards. Well, okay, man, I got the credit card, and that's all right. I'm gonna take it off on my taxes. It was good, so they got rid of that. So where you at now? Nowhere. So be reasonable and handle your credit cards in the right way, because you get the day like today, you get all these letters in there in the mail say you're eligible for $250,000. You're eligible for $100,000. You don't have to get them. You don't need it. So why you want open it up? It might give you a better credit score or whatever. But those things like that, just monitor what you're doing financially. I even go out on the limb. I told all my kids when they move out, buy your house, and they did follow that instruction. Because I hear some of the guys, some of the young men, young ladies too, talk about how much rent is. Well, you bought this house, you ain't got to worry about that rent going up.
50%, 30%, 40%. You're there, you can pay that house out. Two of my boys and bought they both on their second houses.
Wow.
Great, you know. They both on their second house. And you know, like I say, everybody that moved out, they got a house. They didn't go into an apartment. And that's what I encourage them to do. Because, you know, why throw that money away? And then I have guys say, well, what about if you don't have that the budget, it's not in your budget. Well, it's not in your budget, stay home a little bit longer.
Right.
You know?
I'm
not gonna be, you know, parents, don't be the one that say, okay, you turn 18, you gotta go. You know, either you gotta go. No, let this child stay there, let them grow, let them become financial stable. But when they step out, they ain't got to come back in and have the hand out.
That's right.
So, young man, just have a positive attitude and you know, be business wise, and always watch. When I used to go to the barber shop, I asked my barber, "Why you always dress in a suit and tie?" He said, "This is what the Lord blessed me how to make money." I said, "Oh," and then I looked at my wife. She dressed down. It might be, you know, I don't call what she wearing dress down. She always dress up.
Right.
And that's one something that she, you know, she had to steal herself. So, you know, fellas, don't go to work with your pants hanging down. You know, if that going to be one of your main screen of money, keep the pants up. Go dress. You know, look at that. Because you go out there and, you know, we've been talking about the concert. You go out there and you go buy a $150 outfit for a concert. I mean, it's clean, it's everything. But you go to work with bagging pants or, you know, stuff that's not really, I call it not really appropriate.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, you need, you know, pay attention and all that. And so that's you know, that's some of the advice I give them. And also this book that my wife wrote, Build Your Best Life. Get an opportunity to read it.
Get it
online.
Get it.
Yeah, get it, and read it, and it will help you. So
yes.
that's my closing remarks.
Okay. Well, we got some great advice from three great men today. And please, if you're listening, tune in every second Saturday of the month and get this knowledge that's being dropped by these three great men. And today has been a good one. You know, we talked about a young man and his money, financial literacy. And these guys, you know, they came with it. They let you know exactly what's going on, what needs to be done. So please take heed to it. Credit is important. Savings is important. You know, learning about trying to make your money grow the best way you can is important. Don't go out there splurging and trying to live a life you know you really can't live. And knowing, you know, deep down inside, you don't have anything to show for it after it's all gone. So just take advice from these men today. And I just wanted to say thank you again for tuning in to Build Your Best Life Conversation with the Guys and Deacon Dan Smith, Dr. Joseph Levette, and Mr. Derek Durden. Hey, it's been great. I love seeing you guys, and hopefully we can do this again next month. You guys stay blessed, stay safe. And Coach Deborah Smith, thank you again for letting us come out here and dropping out the knowledge that we have and experiences on the Conversation with the Guys. I'm Coach Dr. Wilborn, and as you know, as always, it's been a blessing. Take care and stay blessed.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share. And please subscribe. Please subscribe. It don't take but one hit on a button. One little hit. Just hit it. If you're listening to this, and share it with everybody, let them know that this is something that these young men and women can benefit from. We're here because we want them to succeed and drop the knowledge. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed week and stay safe. And again, love you guys. Y'all take care.
All right.